Um, all right, I think we're live. Hey, welcome everyone. Welcome to the stream. What's up? What's up? What's good? Come on in. Come on in. How is everybody doing? This time YouTube was fast with the connection. Not gonna lie. Let me. Can I delete this? What's going on here? Holy crap! Holy crap! Why can I not kill this? What's going on here? Oh yeah. Okay, let me see what's going on here, guys. Streamlabs. What up, Lars? What's going on? For Alex Prime, what's up, man? Danke. Osama Ibrahim, of course, man. Welcome, welcome. Yo, Joe, what's up? What's going on? How's the mic, actually? I had some experimentation with my mic. I don't know what's going on. Should be fine. A lot of pops and bangs here and there, but hey, this is what it is, man. How is the ratio of the volume here with my voice? Let me guys know. You need to help me. Today's going to be an interesting stream because we're going to separate the boys from the men here. You know what I mean? HTMX is all nice on web dev and APIs and middleware. That's all good, but that's not going to bring choco on your sandwich. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know what's up with the mic. I just hey, I don't know, man. It's a cheap ass mic, so whatever. And, you know, just spank him from time to time, and then it's gonna be fine. So yeah, this time this stream is going to be about something special. First of all, I'm gonna show you here real quick. So I'm working on this thing, right? This is basically Hollywood, and the link is in the description probably. And if you do not know what Hollywood is, check it out. Give me a star, please. 503. I need more, right? Because I'm coming. I'm coming every night, baby, every night. But most every night, right? But the thing is that we are reaching V1. Basically means that the API is going to be frozen, right? And it's going to be every change is going to be backwards compatible, and that's a huge milestone. Yeah, so check that out. So basically Hollywood is a framework for distributed systems. It's an actor model framework. You can read stuff, there's a lot of examples, right? And recently I spent a lot of time making the package cluster here, right? And what cluster does is something amazing. It's actually game changing, right? And I'm going to show you. And I'm also going to implement a region-based distributing processes based on the region of the user and how you can do that, right? So let me first show you. Let me first draw something on the school board. You know, your HMX video was covered on Prime's channel. Yes, I know. Yeah. So again, guys, let's go back and better and note. Yes. Again, this video of HTMX, right? I'm of course happy with the reach of this video, right? Where is this thing actually here? Here, 45k views in 12 days, which is actually amazing. But what does this video teaches you, right? Nothing. So am I happy with this video? I don't know, man. I'm not very proud of the video. You know, it's my best. It's my best video. It's the best video of me, and it gave me so much money. It gave me so much subscribers, reach, knowledge, ego. But is this video what I want? Is this video what I want on my channel? Is this what my channel represents? No. No. It doesn't. Yeah. I have videos that basically are so fucking good that have 300 views. But hey, it is what it is. Okay, Escalera. So what we're gonna do All right, so what we're gonna do is let me show you what's going on, right? So let's say distributed systems and why it's important, especially region-based stuff, right? So let's say let's take a game engine. What's going on myself? I'm getting distracted. So let's say we have, for example, what's a good example of a distributed system? A game server, for example, right? So let's say we have our server here, right? It's going to be a server. Boom, right? The music is bad. I don't know what's going on actually. Here's a server, right? And each time a player connects here, right? I'm going to say player session. Alright, well. So each time a player connects, we're gonna actually start a player session, right, on the server. Okay, what is a player session? It's basically some kind of in Golang, it could be a Go routine that keeps the session of the player active, right? So you can send coordinates or actions. He's jumping, he's picking up some whatever, he's feeding the team in League of Legends, whatever it's gonna do, right? And that's all fine. So if you have, for example, multiple players connected, Excalibur, man, what's going on here? Can we do this? Boom. If you have multiple players here, you see, they're all gonna sit on the server. All right, cool, that's nice. What's the problem? What is the problem here? The problem is that, yo, what if a player connects from Asia or from the US, West Coast, East Coast, I don't know, you know what I mean? So if your server is sitting at Europe and you need to maintain these player sessions from Asia or the US, that's actually bad, especially in highly concurrent, low latency distributed systems. That's bad, right? You want to basically spawn the player session on another server, right? In a cluster, for example. You want to have a cluster of servers. Hey. I still need to level up my Excalibur things, man. Skills. Boom. Right. Actually, to be honest, let's paste another one in. Why not? We're programmers. Yeah, you see? And then you're gonna have, for example, it's gonna be the US East or something. I don't know. Sucking things out of my thumb. Boom. And this is gonna be, can you guys see this? Of course not. Boom. This is gonna be, I don't know, Asia, whatever. 1. Hey. So what needs to happen is basically when a new player when a new player connects to the server, we need to spawn this session. Holy crap, man. Somebody has a course for this, so I can actually follow this thing. Full-time Excalibur dev. Yeah, so basically when a player starts on the server, connects with the server is going to be a distributed stuff also, right? And it's going to get this connection, and this is going to spawn this player session based on the region of the player, right? Here. Right. So the problem also exists that, for example, you're going to have a DB here, and you're going to have a cluster of servers of machines, and yeah, all these services needs to talk to each other. That's a big problem. That's not that easy. Of course, with Hollywood, it is easy. Control G to group. Thank you. Somebody is talking in Netherlands on my channel. I cannot translate, maybe later on, to be honest. All right, so that's what we're gonna make. So first of all, what I'm gonna do is, do I need to check out a new branch? Git checkout -b region. Actually, to be honest, default region based strategy. Actually, region strat. Boom. Fine. Okay, so in this repository, I'm gonna close all these things. What I'm gonna do, I have cluster here examples. We have this cluster example, node A, node B. I'm gonna delete these things because we're gonna write it completely again. Delete. Yes. All right. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make a new folder. I'm gonna call this member1, right? I'm gonna make a new file. I'm gonna call this main.go. Why not? Boom. Package main. And you need to stick with me here because I'm basically going to implement this thing into the package of Hollywood, right? Very important. This music. Sorry guys, I just can't. Electronic. Alright. Main. Okay, so basically the first thing we need is we're gonna set up a cluster, right, with Hollywood. We need 3 things for that, right? We need an engine. Actor new engine actually. New engine, right? Nil for the config. Yeah, it's gonna be an error also here. R. To be honest, guys, yeah, let's do it good. Let's do it. If R is not null, we're gonna basically log fatal. And I'm lazy. You can see that I'm lazy here. Didn't touch my keyboard for the whole fucking day, actually, to be honest. Boom. So we have an engine. The next thing we need to do is actually create a remote. I'm gonna say R. It's gonna be remote new. We need a config. Remote config. Now we need to specify the address of this cluster, of this member of the cluster, right? It's actually very easy. You're gonna see. Now listen, adder. What's going on here? Let's save. What the fuck's going on here, guys? Let me see what's going on. Oh. That's weird. Who's doing this? This has changed. Why do we have this stupid fucking address here? It's probably, yeah, it's fine. Let's do something like, yeah, it's annoying. 3000 here to be honest, and then remote config, we don't need that. I'm gonna do null probably. Let me double check here. Yeah, people basically are contributing and they're doing stuff, and I just basically say looking good to me, and I merge this, and I actually have no clue what's going on. A config and a wait group, yeah, we don't need this stuff, yeah, that's fine. And then we need to do something like engine. Guys, engine opts. Motor. Why is there so many changed here in my own fucking package, man? What's going on here? I don't like this. I'm gonna change that. Let me speak. Oh man, why? Alright, so we need to pass in an actor engine opts. I don't like that. It should be a config, man. I'm gonna refactor that. This is so annoying. No, we don't need this. We need this. That's fine. Now we need to make a cluster. We're gonna say cluster is going to be cluster new. What do we need here? Save this. Check this thing. It's going to be a cluster config. ID, region, and all that stuff. Okay. The idea of the cluster is going to be A, actually capitalized. You stream on Twitch. I did, but also an error here. What's going on here? Errors. Copy this. Boom, boom, boom. Paste it in below. I don't stream on Twitch because I don't have an audience there. There's literally 2 viewers. It's just not worth it for me. We also need... I have no fucking clue, guys. This is actually embarrassing. This is my own fucking thing. But we changed the way constructors work. And that's why it's a little bit weird for me. We need an engine. We pass in the engine here. A cluster provider. We don't... Yeah. It's going to be a self-managed cluster provider. Self cluster new self-managed provider. Delete this, delete this. And now we need to specify a region, right? So each time you're going to make a cluster, you're going to make a member of the cluster, you're going to specify, hey, this member is on, I don't know, AU West, for example. A region, right? AU West. Something like that. Beautiful. And I think we could do something like cluster start. Like that. Do a select here so we can sleep forever. And that should actually work. Let me see. Go run. Examples. Cluster. Member 1. Main.go. Alright. You can see we have some bullshit, which is basically some logging from the internal framework. And we can see here info member joined, right? So we joined, the ID is A, the host is this. Actually, I don't like that. We need to make a, we need to fix this. I want a complete address here, to be honest, right? Can I actually do this? Yeah. All right. Now you can see the host is this thing, and then kinds. I'm gonna explain what that is, because what you're gonna see, what you are gonna witness on this stream is gonna be mind blowing. And I swear to God, you cannot sleep tonight. You're not gonna sleep tonight. I swear to God, because it's crazy. We're gonna do some crazy stuff. But we need to build it up, guys. So stick with me. I know it's gonna be. All right. Yes, fine. So what we also gonna do here is we're gonna make. So these are two separate processes, right? Remember that. We're gonna make two members of the cluster. I know you should have more, but we're gonna make two, just for the sake of. So I'm gonna make here members 2. Press enter, and I'm gonna, because yeah, so we can test that, right? So we can test the implementation of region-based shenanigans. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna open up this main, and I'm gonna basically yank the whole shebang and put it over. But I'm gonna say here, we are 3001. We are at AU. Actually, to be honest, let's schedule this at the US. I don't know, East or something. West, maybe, right? Okay. What we need to do here is, because we have a self-managed cluster, we don't use console or we don't use any other discovery zookeeper. We do it ourselves. So what do we need to do is we need to provide in self-managed provider at least one bootstrap node, right? Yeah. So what is our bootstrap node? If we're gonna say that the 3000 is the first one we're gonna spawn, we're gonna say that the cluster B here, right? Member B is gonna be on the US, and gonna be the second one. We're gonna say that the member adder is going to be cluster member adder, and we're gonna actually, the listen adder is basically this one. Boom, 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 3000, right? And I think we need to provide an ID, which is gonna be A, right? So this member adder here is this guy on the other side, right? Okay. And I think we can pass that in. Actually, to be honest, I'm gonna call this bootstrap adder. Bootstrap adder, yeah. Bootstrap adder, right? Okay, cool. So, what I'm gonna do, let's start the first one here, member 1, right? And then I'm gonna open up this thing, make it bigger for the blind homies, and I'm gonna go make it a bit. Yeah. I'm gonna say go run examples cluster member 2 main.go. All right, so you see what happens, right? We see here, I didn't do fancy stuff, right? I just configured this thing and done. So we're gonna see member joined, which is B, and then which is 3001, which is ourselves, right? And then we can see that A also joined, right? Which is running on this port. and they have no kinds. And we're gonna come to that very soon. The same thing happens on the other machine. Of course, you're running on my computer, I know, but if you just open up whatever, Hetzner or DigitalOcean and you spawn this stuff, it's gonna work, right? The same thing happens here, right? Something I actually want is, I'm gonna change something here in cluster real quick. It's gonna be agent, I think. Member joint, right? So we're gonna see that it's logging these things. I wanna actually do region. Region is gonna be member region. Boom. Boom. My region is empty. That's bad. Let me reboot this guy here. Okay. This is not working. What's going on here? Aha, here's a problem. You see, again. Problem fix, problem fix, problem fix. That's what I do, man. Region. See, region. Easy. God fucking damn it, man. I'm fucking too good. Is it? Wait, what I'm doing is region. EU West. This guy. Boom. Region. EU West. US West. EU West. It works perfectly fine. Okay. But this is not region-based spawning. This is basically just booting up a node. This is easy peasy, lemon squeezy, right? This is no fancy. This is just the introduction. You know what I mean? The first date, right? The Tinder swipe. That's the easy part, right? Now you need to say something to her. That's the hard part because, yeah. Okay. Now we're gonna have the concept of computational units. aka actors. So, let's say, what is this? Where are we here? We are at member 1, right? Member 1 of the cluster, right? So I'm gonna say, I'm gonna make a type player here, right? Type player is gonna be a structure. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a new folder here. In cluster. New folder. Actor. New file. Player go. Boom. Package. Actor. Type. You're gonna, I swear to God, guys, I'm gonna blow your minds off right now. You have no clue what's gonna happen. You're still like, huh? What is this doing? That's confused. No. It's gonna be insane. I swear to God, you've never seen this before. Well, probably not. That's fine. I'm gonna make a player. I'm gonna say here. I'm gonna make a constructor real quick. New player, which is actually gonna be something different. That's actually gonna return an actor. Fuck. And we cannot call this package actor. I'm gonna make it something else. I'm gonna rename this real quick. I swear to God, guys, stay with me. Actors. I'm gonna call it actors. Why not actor? Because you're gonna see actor dot receiver. Return and player. Yeah, that's what it is. That's what we're gonna do. Just like that, right? And then, of course, it's gonna be problematic here because we need to implement the receiver method. Exactly. And what is that? Receive. So I'm gonna say func p pointer to this player receive capitalized. It's gonna take in a c, which is gonna be an actor dot context, and it's gonna return nothing. We're gonna say switch. Look at this, guys. Wait, we need at least 10 more minutes. See message type. Case an event or something. I'm gonna say actor started. FMT println player started. Whatever the fuck, right? Press enter. It's gonna be fine. Cool. This is our player. What are we gonna do? We are gonna register this player, right? And all your logic for your player is gonna be in here, right? That makes sense. So what's gonna happen, right? Moshago, do you need to select at the end of the start? Is non-blocking? Yeah, it's just I put a select. In a normal case scenario, it's not gonna happen like that. But for demonstration purposes, I just put select so it blocks. Right? Most of the time you're gonna have something else like it's saying they'll notify or something, but for the sake of demonstration, select does the trick. Idiomatic? Definitely not. Yeah. I'm going to spawn this player on member 2 on the US East Coast, West Coast, East Coast from my other node. How are we gonna do that? Well, I'm going to member 2. If this is member 1, this is member 2, right? Okay. What I'm gonna do is, I have my cluster here. I'm gonna say cluster, register a kind. So what is a kind? In a game could be a player kind, a player actor kind, a player actor type. It could be an inventory kind, a kind AI, lobby, net, whatever. A kind is some kind of a type of your actor, in this case a player. Right? I'm gonna register a player, which is going to be actors, new player, and then I can provide a config which is going to be null. Okay? Nothing fancy. Let's just start them, right? Just registered, we did nothing. Right, we did nothing. Let's reboot here. So it's my member 1. Nothing happened. You can see member joined here. That's ourselves, right? We have no kinds. If we go to member 2, let's refresh here. If we go to member 2, we can see that this is member 2, right? You can see we joined ourselves and the kind is player, then a member A joined, no kinds, right? You can see here that, hey, a new member joined, ID is B, this is his address. But these are the kinds that are basically available on that member of the cluster. So what we can do is we can activate, right? For example, here, cluster starts, that's fine. Cluster, activate me a player. You can give it an ID. We're gonna say config. And what is this? Actually, to be honest, we don't need to. What is this config actually? One cluster. Activation config. Okay. Cluster activation. What the hell? Yeah, okay, I see. We need to. We are a bit. C is going to be the cluster. Because we're basically conflicting with our package, yeah? Cluster.activation config. And I can provide an ID, for example, Bob. Right? Could be an ID of your player. It could be something, right? If you do not provide an ID, the engine is going to generate an ID for you, right? This is going to be a pit. What is a pit? A pit is a process ID, right? With the process ID, we can send messages to that player. I'm not going to do anything fancy. I'm going to log this. Can I please type? Pit, right? Okay. Okay, we have a little bit of a trouble. Why? Because if I start this, if I start member 1 but member 2 is not online and I want to activate a player, we don't know, right? Because it's asynchronous, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do something. What the hell? Let me do something fancy here. I'm gonna do something like hook into the event stream, so we know that there is a new node connected. So I'm gonna do something like cluster engine spawn func it should be event whatever. I can call this whatever I want. What I'm gonna do is case cluster. How is it called? Member join event. And then I'm gonna check, because this event is also gonna trigger if ourselves is joining to the cluster. So I'm gonna double check if message.id equals what is it? B, right? B is our then we're gonna spawn this player, right? Member ID is B. Shit, this is CS engine and we have our context here. I'm gonna call it CTX, to be honest. CTX. Yeah, we're gonna activate it like that. This is our pit, and then we're gonna print this pit. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, now it's fine. So now we're only gonna spawn or activate our player on member 2 if member 2 is connected with the cluster. Otherwise we can't, right? Makes a lot of sense. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is spawn 1. Nothing happens normally. Now I'm gonna do member 2 here, right? Press member 2. Okay. This member. That sounds not good. This is actually very unsatisfying. Okay, debug. Member join event. Event. Oh yeah, of course, Anthony, you're stupid. You're stupid. So each time we spawn a func, it's gonna give us a bit, right? It's gonna be, let's say, event bit. You can whatever the fuck you want. So we're gonna say C engine. We need to subscribe, right? Subscribe to the event stream. This event bit. Okay, cool. Now we can actually do some stuff. I'm so sorry. Boom. And then spawn this one. Boom. Right. You can see what happens, right? We are logging the bits of this player here, right? On the other side, the player started here on member 2. So this basically means that we're going to have a cluster of members, and we can activate any piece of computation on our cluster somewhere else. But that's one. Let's say our player is going to... Now I need to use protobuffer here to compile. I'm going to do something else. I'm going to say case. Do we have a remote test message? I think I have something compiled already. Yes, remote test message. Look at that. Amazing, right? So I'm going to say that if the player receives a remote test message, I'm going to say here fmt println is going to be message is going to be this thing. We don't need this actor started. We don't care. We're going to say message.data. All right. This remote test, it could be any message you want, right? With protobuffer, you can, it could be anything. But this is basically for our tests. We use this pre-compiled protobuffer message, so I don't need to hassle with protobuffers right now. I'm going to make it a string here, just like that, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I'm going to activate the player somewhere on the cluster, right? And I'm going to come to activation strategies very soon, right? Now we have this pit here, right? This is basically the player ID. So I'm gonna call this player pit. what we're gonna do is we're gonna say the context send me to player pit. I'm gonna call this a remote.test message, right? The data is gonna be a slice of bytes. Hello from member 1. Right, something like that. Okay. Let's start this thing up. Let me clear the screen. Okay, this booted up. Now we're gonna boot our member 2 here. Boom. Clear. If I can press. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom. You see? I start member 2. Member 1 recognizes this. Activates player on member 2. Sends a message to this player. And we printing out the message here from the player on member 2. That basically means that each time, this is based on an activation strategy. So you can create your own strategy where each time you need to do something, like a client connects on your server, you can maybe calculate on which machine there is the most CPU power and schedule that client there. Or you need to do something else, which is storage intensive. You can make a strategy that this particular thing needs to be scheduled on a machine with a lot of storage, SSD power. I don't know, something like that, right? Or you want to do region-based scheduling, deploying of services, computations of units of computations somewhere on your cluster, right? That's basically what that does. Of course, this is kind of, if you're not familiar with this, kind of complex. But it's not complex if you're used to distributed systems, if you're used to do all that stuff, and you don't have. This is the only code we need to write, right? I don't know even how many lines this is. I have no fucking clue because I have no line numbers for some reason, right? 40 lines of code. The same thing counts for member 2, 40 lines of code. You have service discovery. You don't need to do anything. You know what I mean? You can just program your shit. You know what I mean? Easy peasy. So, the next step is that I want to boot 3 nodes here. Why? Actually, it's not. Because I want to test do we actually, wait, let me quickly see here. Where do we activate? And you can register more stuff, right? You can register an inventory, you can register a lobby or whatever kind of logic you have based on domain. And you can schedule them wherever you want, right? And they can still talk to each other, nonetheless where they are on the cluster, right? So you basically program, that's the thing, right? You basically program as if, because all your logic here, as if you're just working locally, and the cluster package basically abstracts that it actually is not locally, that you're gonna have them distributed, right? What I'm thinking here is, let me go to member 1 again here, because I want to see if I'm activating here this thing. Aha, look at that, beautiful. So we have this activation config, and I already had the region here. So it basically means that if I want to activate this, how can we make this beautiful? Message, paste that in. Let's say we only want to schedule Bob on pure AUS, right? But it's a little bit cheesy because I want to say, yeah, let's just schedule it on US West, but we only have 2 fucking nodes, right? So that's a little bit right? We want to spawn our player session. Because player is weird, it's going to be a session most of the time, right? A session that could be something like if you have a browser game or something, it could be a WebSocket session. You're going to spawn somewhere, right? And that needs to keep open. That needs to be keep looping. You know what I mean? So you can spawn it close to the player nearby. That's actually the perfect use case, right? Okay. Now I need to program this in, right? In cluster, let me show you here, right? In agent, I have something that is called panic to do. Close your eyes. Here, right? So if we're gonna call activate, we're gonna select the members and we're gonna filter them by kind, right? So that basically means that if we, guys, it could be, right, that your player, there's a lot of concepts I need to explain. It could be that this player is also registered. Actually, to be honest, let's do this. Look at that. Let's do this. Where is cluster here? Here. Paste that in. Call it C. Boom. So now, let me do this again. All right. So now, we also have player registered on EU West, right? But we also have player registered here. Wait, is it this thing? Wait, what the hell is that? I'm stupid. It's here. We also have player registered here on US East, right? But look what happens. A fucking segfault here. That's nice. That's actually good that this happens, to be honest, because, like I said, it's an experimental package. Wait. Yeah, it's restarting. That's classic actor stuff. The question is why is it restarting here real quick? Because the reason that happened is because the reason why we don't see it here is because yeah, and it's because if we register a player in the cluster and 2 or more members, it's gonna select a random member where it can spawn, unless we provide a new strategy, right? You know what I mean? Okay, what's going on here? Member 1. So we registered this thing. That's nice. We activate. I know what it is. I know what it is, guys. It's the player session. This doesn't exist. So what happens here? This is so fucking funny, actually. This is so funny. So we just went in here. And what was the first thing I did? Where agent. What was the first thing I said? Panic to do. Because there is no owner. Why is there no owner? Because we filter by kind. But player session. We don't know a player session. It's players, right? We cannot activate player session if we register player here. So we're going to say player session, right? And we're going to do the same thing here. So we need to actually fix this to do. All right. Let's do it again. Spawn this guy here. Now we spawn this here. So now we have a 50-50 chance that it's going to be spawned on West or on US, on EU or US, right? On member 1 or member 2, right? This time it's spawned on member 2. You know what I mean? Let me see if we can spawn it on member 1. If you're lucky, 50-50 chance. Who's placing bets? No, again on member 2. Doesn't matter. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we only spawn our players on a certain region, right? Hello, Anthony. Can you help her what you're doing? Yeah. So, like I said, it's best basically to rewatch this video from the start later on, because it's very complex, guys. I know, but it's very important, because I'm gonna say it again. If you think that HTMX and HTML and database and logging in users and all that stuff and to-do list, if that's going to, that's not it. And especially not in Golang. That's most of the time, you're never ever gonna do that in Golang, right? Your chance to write HTML or simple or API, it's not gonna happen. Golang use cases in the industry or cloud computing, networking, servers, daemons, DNS stuff, that's network, systems engineering. That's what you're gonna do. So this is important stuff, right? Because this is the difference between getting hired by your local butcher or Riot Games, right? Because that's exactly what Riot Games is doing with their servers. You know what I mean? All trading and all these low soft real-time systems, they all work with actors and they all work distributed. So you need to know these concepts, right? The question is, are we going to make a region-based strategy inside of the package, or are we going to do it outside? That's the question, right? Because we have this here. Let me show you. So we need to fix this. If the owner is nil, this basically means that, hey, I want to activate this kind somewhere on the cluster, but we could not find a member. We could not find a member that has that kind registered. So that's why I'm panicking here. So we need to actually log it out or something, I don't know, and return nil, probably something like that. Actually, not panic, slog error. Could not find a member with kinds. Something like that. That's already better, right? Here. Boom. Activation strategy. It's an interface. What does it do? It has one function: select members. So activation strategy is an interface that abstracts the logic on what members of the cluster abstracts the logic on what member? On what member? That's right, the logic. This somebody with decent English education needs to rewrite this fucking documentation. So what it does basically is going to select the members already pre-filtered for a specific kind, and you can do whatever you want, right? If cluster node is borked, will it spawn actors in new node, which can be different region? That's all up to you. That's all up to you, right? So normally, if you could say with your activation strategy that if there is no member being found for that region, then you just do not spawn it, or you just spawn it at as close as you can, right? I mean, that's up to you. This is the default activation strategy we have right now, right? So we have two members in our example, and we just pick a random one, right? You know what I mean? We just pick this rand int n len members. We just pick one of two, which is actually, yeah, whatever you want. So we could do something like region based activation strategy, which is going to be a structure. I need to think already what I'm going to do here. Func type. The thing is, should we make this a function? Maybe not, because maybe you're going to have in the struct some kind of a CPU profiling stuff where you can actually, I don't know. Because we could make this activation strategy instead of an interface, we could just make it a func, right? You could say type activation strategy func member slice member pointer, right? Let me copy this real quick. Paste that in. Here. Save. Yoink this, actually. Yoink it again. Paste it in. Save. Important, if no member could be selected, nil should be returned. Okay, so that's this one. Wait, we need to have a... Okay, this is going to be challenging, because how do I know on which region I want to spawn this thing? I might need to change some API here, because how can we do that? Because we activate... We need to inject more information, I think, from the cluster into this function, right? Because we can say a cluster region, right? We have the region here, you know what I mean? We might put a pointer to cluster in here, but that would be nasty, because I don't think cluster is going to be... Private, that's good. Cluster is completely private. That's nice. Okay, now we need to do this. Func. So that's how you actually design your APIs for your open source packages, because if you don't use it yourself, you cannot make a good API. You know what I mean? Let's call this. Yeah. You know what I mean? Region turns the region of the cluster. Sorted region list, exactly, Mario. That's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna keep it easy, right? But now we're gonna change up this thing, right? Actually, we should. Yeah. If we really want to be fancy, we could give the member some extra metadata, right? So you could basically, each time a member joins or a member pings in the cluster, it could ping a CPU profile or memory profile with it. That's how it actually happens sometimes, right? So if you know each time, because we have self-managed, right? Guys, I swear to God, take a look here how I made this, because I did a lot of things in my life, but I never did something like Hollywood. How this is built is crazy, man. It took me a year, but it's so insane. But if you look at, just take a look, maybe, yeah, you can learn from it. You can maybe contribute to it, whatever. It's amazing. So what I'm gonna say is actually that in member, it's the proto probably. Yes. This member thing, but if we could have a metadata thing where people could actually send the each time we ping, yeah, that's what I want to show. I know, I remember. In self-managed here. So we ping with a send repeater. Where is this thing actually? Check it out. Members ping, right? So each time, I think it's each 5 seconds, we ping each member of the cluster, and we could actually send our memory profile and CPU profile there. So the cluster could be aware how busy members are. And then what we could do is the activation strategy could be based on, hey, okay, I need to spawn something. What kind of member is the least busy? You know what I mean? That's some crazy shit, right? That's, you're playing at the level of Twitch, Netflix, Google. That's that level you have, right? With nothing, with no code. What's going on with my mic? It's crazy. Yeah. So now we have this region, which is nice. So now I'm gonna go to... Like I said, the default, this region-based activation strategy is very simple, right? Inside of cluster, inside of the repo, right? You could write your own. How do you do that? Very simple. I think in cluster config. Man, this font is too big. Here, in config, you can pause an activation strategy, which is this interface, right? So you could play around with it, and then what could be nice is just to basically make an issue or something. If you see, hey, listen, I want to make this strategy, but I don't have access to this API sucks, right? And you could do a proposal or whatever, because, you know what I mean? Everything in Hollywood itself is kind of production ready, unless the cluster. The cluster is working, and it does a lot of things, but most likely here and there could be some things that's going to be changed, right? You know what I mean? Twitch source code is garbage. I don't know, maybe. Activator, right? So I need to change this interface, right? I'm gonna do this. Maybe we do this. I don't like to do this, to be honest. I don't like to do this. Pointer cluster. Slice of members. But we might. We could actually make a new struct, which could be a cluster info struct. With all the necessary things, which we can then basically keep adding fields to. So we can be backwards compatible, but also make new features. Because if we don't want to, suddenly don't want to use cluster anymore, and everybody's using cluster as this function signature, we're gonna have breaking changes. That's what I'm thinking here. Is that a good idea? I like more the new versus just use the structs with methods. Yeah. Maybe we should do something like that. Then we could do a region. Actually, we could do that. And delete this thing. And use... We don't need a pointer actually, to be honest. Just to cluster info in here. Isn't that amazing? Maybe it is. What's going on here? Actually, to be honest, can go info. Alright. LAN info members. That should be it. That's region based. That's not that actually that's not true. I'm gonna copy this and paste it in here. Delete this. And then I'm gonna say delete everything here, info, there's gonna be a cluster info, right, just like that. That should be fine. For here, we could do something like members. It's gonna be, I don't know, make member, something like that. Just no. Range members info members. Okay, hey, please, guys, I hated to type in this fucking huge font. You have no idea. Like one sentence is basically four. This like this. So big is it? It's crazy. It's like, because when I watch my own streams, it looks good, the font, right? It looks easy readable. But if you need to program in this, it's crazy. Like, you cannot see the ratio. It looks like a good ratio, but actually, if you imagine Solding, man, his font is even bigger. That's insane. Info member. You're gonna say if members. Shit, but how are we gonna? We're still gonna have a problem because how can I? Agent. How do I know which fucking... It's actually easy for me, but the reason why I need to think so hard is because I need to come up with a good API for the user to use, you know what I mean? Because it doesn't make any sense that I say, yo, select member, and this is going to be a region here. This is going to be a string. You know what I mean? Right? It's going to be the region, right? Region here, and then the info here, right? The info is our actually member info, to be honest. Wait, I think we need to play it a little bit better. No, we can't. God damn it, I have no clue how we can do this. Because if we activate... Here. Yeah, let me quickly... Some problem solving. I'm gonna let you join my mind right now. How I program. Which might be very boring, I know, but you could also watch other stuff if you want. Wait, let me come back. So this activation strategy, yada yada yada, is this one. Okay, cool. If we go to the agent here, and we're gonna activate here, we're gonna have an activation config. Where is it coming from? Here. No. This is the activation request, which is the message. Is here. Oh wait, I'm thinking here because I'm giving. If you see at our main here, guys, we say here activate. Here, this is our activation config, right? Let me see, where do we use this? If config is null, okay, we use this. Okay, cool. Okay, request. We send the. Okay. You see, there's already a problem, right? You can see we have activate here, which is being sent to the agent, right? Because we are in an. We don't use locks, we don't use mutexes, it's all asynchronous. That's why we're basically sending. I don't know how many. 70 million messages a second. Is that true? Am I retarded? Yeah, but this is from Per's computer. I have my PC is doing double. 3.5 million messages a second. But I have 7 million. Almost 10 million messages a second because it's a beast of a PC, right? But wait, so what's going on here? I'm lost. So it's very simple. What we need to do, this activation message, yeah, I know. It's going to be agent here. It's going to be handled here. Handle activate. Here, activation, MSG. We only have a pit. Maybe it's this one. ID and kind. Here we are handling this. The problem is we need region, right? I'm gonna make it a little bit cleaner. I'm gonna delete this real quick. Message, paste that in. Do a little bit of idioms here. Because we need a region, right? Here. And then we're gonna send this message over the wire. Now we need to go to our proto buffers. Cluster proto. We want to activate, but we also want a region, right? Region is 3. It's gonna be 4. Nobody cares. Let's build protos here. I need to do this because it's VT proto. Why is it VT proto? Because we don't using reflection. That's why we're so fast. Right? We don't using gRPC. We're using drPC. And we don't use proto buffer from Google because it's all garbage. We use VT proto buffer. My M1 is three times better and I couldn't benchmark. Yeah, I think if I bench this and I'm streaming and I'm doing all that stuff, I mean, it's the same. No, I'm going higher. I go higher. Oh, you can clearly see some when I'm streaming. That's crazy. Normally I'm sitting at 7 million. Huh. But because I'm streaming and all that stuff, I'm losing CPU. That's actually insane. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, region. So now, here, region is going to be config region, right? Okay, but it's this thing. Wait. Yeah. Activate. Well, wait, this is already activate this already. This is not what we need. Am I fucking tripping? Activation request. We don't need to do that. We don't need this. My music board. What's going on here? Again. I'm confused. Where do we select this thing? Here, it's activate itself. I can do this and it's gonna work out, right? Because we need the region so we can provide that information to select member. I have the best idea. You see, the idea is they come and they go, just like girls. Wait, there's so many stuff I need to activate or here. This is not gonna be. This is gonna be activation info. Is that? So. Hi Anthony, do you feel using Vim and VS Code boosted your productivity? Yes, for sure. For sure. And I'm still, basically I'm the worst Vim user ever. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm the most inefficient Vim. I'm actually, to be honest, the most inefficient. If you think, whoa, this guy is super efficient. No, I'm actually doing way too much keystrokes. But it's also, people say, why are you doing all that stuff? It's because I'm used to do that, right? Like, you need to understand, I'm streaming and it all looks weird, but most of the time I'm sitting here alone, thinking about a problem or reading something, and then I'm actually just playing around with this thing, right? I'm just... You cannot type all this code out in once, you know. You see that sometimes on YouTube. It has all these soy devs that basically copy everything from their other screen and teaching you how to do stuff, but they just copy that whole project over and all works fine and no problems and it looks all great and oh what a god, but they aren't, you know what I mean? It's not good. Programming is suffering. Suffering. So this activation info is basically, okay, activation, members, region, yada yada. We select a member based on the activation info. But don't get me wrong, like Twitter clones and Instagram clones, they are actually useful, right? You know what I mean? If you try to do them yourself, right? But if you are, look, I have this full-time GoDev course, and the first thing people ask me, hey, can you add me to the GitHub? No. Well, I don't like that. Because you follow these videos, you follow along, you should just... actually, in my course, I actually sometimes do not implement everything, and I just say, guys, that's something you need to do yourself. Because what the fuck are you learning if I'm just basically saying what you need to do and you just copy it? You're gonna pay a lot of shit ton of money for a course and you don't learn anything, you know what I mean? What I do is not always the best thing. It's just, what I do is I give you the concepts, the patterns, the ways, the motivation And the rest is up to you, to be honest, guys. And if you can, yeah, that's what it is, right? I mean, we try to build something, and because people expect sometimes a perfect thing, like a perfect one-on-one thing that they can copy, and that's you're not gonna, it's not gonna help you. It's not gonna help you guys, not at all. Okay, so now, okay, we have one more problem here. Is this thing? That's what we need, right? Activation info, is it gonna be activation info? We still should have a problem because I added some extra argument here, but because my font is so big, I cannot find it here. Let's do a quick let's do a make test. It's gonna work and I know where it is. It's first gonna build this thing. Actually, it's not. I'm gonna run the node so I can know where the problem is here, and I can click it and call it a fucking day. Here it is. Okay. We don't have a region. I'm gonna add it, and I think that's gonna be the activation. Yeah. At top here, region string. It's this is a huge thing, right? So guys, I'm sorry that I need to navigate here and there. It's pretty annoying here. Okay, this is working fine. So now where's my activation? Here, activation config. Activate. No. That's not what I want. It's config region here. The meulmeester. Yes, that's what we want. Okay, I think we're Gucci now. What the hell, guys? Holy crap. Simple things take a long time. So basically, okay. So maybe if we have time, I'm gonna write the nastiest test ever, because check it's very well tested, the whole fucking framework. Even cluster is tested. But I can swear to God, guys, these tests are from an all other level. That's you need to basically sniff coke and all that stuff. You know what I mean? Take some Adderall, because otherwise it's not gonna. This is crazy stuff. Region-based activation strategy. Alright, so now we can actually do this, and this. Actually, I could, yeah. So if the member region equals the info region, then we can actually say members. Wait, do we not have a region here? It's this one, yeah. Member is going to be append. Yeah, and it's going to be this member, right? I'm confused here. Yeah, I know. Like I said, you could do so many things. I mean, now we can actually do... Then pick the random one from that members. Maybe we have 10 servers running on AE West, and we need to spawn on AE West. How are you gonna... You know what I mean? You can make... You can wrap your strategies together. You know what I mean? You can wrap them like a kind of a middleware onion. Let me do some logging. Need to spawn on info region. You know what I mean? Do you use Kubernetes for a cluster? No, that's the thing. Kubernetes, get the fuck out of Kubernetes. You know what I mean? This is a self-managed standalone thing. No Kubernetes, no nothing. You know, you write code and it's going to happen. Of course, if you wanna, in the actor model, everything is fault tolerant by default. You know what I mean? It's like if something crashes, it reboots. If something crashes, it can reset state. But you need to implement that yourself. But all the tools are available in this thing, right? Kubernetes is so web dev thing. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, spawn me a database there. Oh, spawn me a pod. Spawn me a pod. You know what it takes to spawn a fucking pod? I can go fucking cook my meal, do fucking 10 deadlifts, and come back, and even then my pod is not spawned. And I'm working on something very cool. I'm working on Hailstorm, which is basically it's built on top of Hollywood's cluster, and it scales WASM containers in the cloud. Scales WASM containers in the cloud. So I basically can make a Golang web server, web application, and I can spawn it in the cloud on the edge, compile to WASM in 10 nanoseconds. You know what I mean? That's something that Kubernetes can't. I will never can. It's slow as fuck. You know what I mean? WASM is the future. And you're gonna see that soon. That's why I'm making this cluster right now, because I'm gonna spawn. With Hailstorm, you can basically spawn your apps on the edge based on the region you want. Distributed. With logging, metrics, tracing, all the tools available. So it basically means, as a single developer, you can easily manage a shit ton of services yourself. Because right now, DevOps is so complicated, because you need a DevOps Kubernetes engineer and an AWS engineer. You need all these engineers and they're just milking you. You know what I mean? It's so complex. Kubernetes config and a config and a YAML file in a YAML file in a YAML file. Then you have also config to configure your YAML file. It's crazy. And Docker and it's just okay. It's cool. It's driven. It was nice, but it's just complex. You know what I mean? If I'm taking 10 people, 10 developers, right? If I take 10 developers from the street and I ask them, hey, do you like Kubernetes and Docker? They're gonna basically say no. You know what I mean? Most of them, because it's just annoying. The future is WASM containers, right? But WASM is for the browser. No, it's not true. That's not true. You can basically compile any language to WASM and run it. If you have a good host, right? But you are using containers for each service? No. Why would you use a container for a service? Why? I understand Docker, what it solves. But now everybody uses this Docker thing to start deploying stuff. Because actually, I don't know, man. Maybe you guys are just born in Docker. When I was programming, Docker didn't exist, right? We just, oh, we need a Postgres database. Okay, we just launched a Postgres database, right? But yeah, how you manage that? Well, there are tools to manage these processes, right? Now you can just, now you have Docker and Docker is fine. It's just Kubernetes and all that configuration stuff. It's so irritating, man. It's like, oh, man. So basically, we basically bought a company, and they were on AWS. A very small company, actually. I don't even understand why they've been spending so much money. But a very small company, and they were hosting their services on AWS. And they needed to pay, I swear to God, 20-30K, but not for AWS, for a company that manages AWS for you. Because it's so complex to manage all these certificates with all these how do we call that, VPNs and all that stuff on AWS. they hired a company to manage that. And it was 20-30K. So can you imagine some guy from Belgium makes a distributed scheduler for WASM containers where you just don't need, it spins up in 10 nanoseconds basically because it's WASM. And you can run your app in a blink of an eye, right? Of course, WASM is still young and it's still, you know what I mean? It's still 100% okay. But it's the future. I swear to God. Federico, what happens if there is not member in that region? Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? What I'm giving you here is, with Hollywood, is you have the possibility to spawn region-based, right? It's very simple. That's what we do here, right? We take members and the region we want to spawn in. We select the members that has that region. And then we select a random member. Of course, but what happens if there is no member in that region? Yeah, then you can write another logic, right? You can do this. You could say if len members is 0, yada yada. Actually, we need to do that, to be honest, right? If len members equals, actually, if it's larger than 0, we could do this, right? Otherwise, we're gonna return. Look at that. You could return the default activation strategy info. Is that? No. That's actually so annoying that we need to do that. Could actually make a constructor function. I will check that, how to make it better. Select member info, right? You know, something like that. Actually, that's nice. That's a good idea, to be honest. But I don't like this. We're gonna do like we're gonna change this up. Look at that. That should actually be better. I think it's gonna be stupid to basically make this private, and then make a function, which is gonna say a new default activation strategy. It's so weird. But new should return a pointer, and but that's not true. Some of these type hints. Sometimes I rely too much on type hints. It is what it is. New default activation strategy. Why can I not do that? Why doesn't it work? It's time to stop. Oh yeah. Okay. Maybe that's better, isn't it? And now we need to do this. Somewhere here, yeah. And we can, instead of doing the struct, which does, we could do new and call it this function, right? Isn't that more beautiful, isn't it? Look at that. It's beautiful, right? It's beautiful. Have you watched the Primogen reaction video on your Svelte Golang templates? A little bit, actually. I think it's very weird to see myself sometimes. It's weird to see myself sometimes. So it was a good video, right? He was very well, a good video. I don't really like the video, but he was a good reaction video. He was very mild to me. So I also sent him a message on Twitter, right? I said, hey, thank you for reacting on my video. Thank you for reacting on my video. Thank you for being kind. You know what I mean? Because by the end of the day, Prime is winning the game, right? Whatever, you could be as cocky as you want. You could be. By the end of the game, Prime is winning the YouTube game in the tech industry, right? You could say, yeah, but Fireship is a meme, right? It's cool videos, but he's no personality, right? Fireship, it's nobody knows who he is. Prime is a character. Prime is a person, right? He's a active, right? So he's running the YouTube game. So if somebody like that reacts on your video, that's a huge boost on exposure. And if it's a good reaction video, if it's a mild one, if it's a kind one, well, then the last thing, well, the least thing you can do is thank him, right? You know what I mean? All right. Okay, so we need to do some. We can actually already try to do that, to be honest. So if I go to my main function here, you know what's weird is that you need to have this activation strategy configured. We need to change it up a little bit here. Wait, let me go quickly here. Default activation strategy. Fuck this thing. Here, this is going to be region-based activation strategy. Let's do something like that. Let's call. Let's copy this. Make a function. Paste that in. Make it new region. This one. We're going to return region-based one. Let's return this region-based one. Like this, actually, to be honest, what it is doing. Up, boom. And now we're gonna configure it that activation strategy, new region, cluster, new region based activation strategy. I don't think Hollywood needs to expose this. Maybe it does. Maybe we have some presets and that's up to the user. But I think I need to do it for my member too also. And that's a little bit weird, right? Don't you think? Yeah, that's fine. Okay, let's run this thing. Wait, did we actually select where we want to spawn this thing? US West. Do we have US West? Yes. It's member 2. So it can only spawn on member 2 right now. Let's make a third one later on. So we have this one. Let's spawn it here. Let's start this cluster member also. Need to spawn on AU West. So it happens, right? So we started this one and it spawned on AU West, but I thought we needed to have US West. US East. Need to spawn on AU West. Why? I'm a little bit confused. This is clearly US West, right? Okay. Config region. Yeah, that's why we want to activate. We sent that message, which is the activate message. So if you go to agent and we take activate, is this one. No, that's not true. This is not the A cluster region. This is the region. The region here. We activate this on the region here, right? Because in this activation strategy, we don't care about the region of the cluster ourselves, because all the members is also our member, right? So if we have two members, member 1, member 2, and they both have player kind, they both gonna be in the select member function, right? They're both gonna be in here, in the activation info here. Right, they're both going to be in here. So what you also could do is you could say, yeah, but I'm activating for member 1, but I do not want this player to be on member 1. I'm activating from my machine, from member 1 machine, but hey, don't spawn it on my machine. There's also a strategy you could make, or logic you can take in, right? So now it should work actually, right? Now it should only be cluster members 2. Right. Boom, boom. You see? Now we are here. You know what I mean? Need to spawn on AU West, a US West. God damn it, Anthony. So it's this one, right? So the cool stuff is actually, I'm going to show you something else. So boom, and it should be again here. You see? It's again here. So pretty sure that works, right? Very simple. This is a very simple region-based picking, but hey, it works. So very cool you could do is basically this. You can cancel this node, and you're going to see what happened here. He's going to, oh, I cannot ping. There is a problem. I'm going to try 3 times. Boom. Then he's going to say, yo, I'm removing this actor, the player session Bob. I'm removing this. Why? Because member 2 had that player spawned. But member 2 is offline. Right? And then we can see member B left the cluster. Right? What you could do, if that happens, right? You could do something very cool. You could go into your code, right? Let me close these things. How do I close all that stuff? Close all, right? You could go here and you could hook into the case cluster member leave event, right? And if that's member, if a member leaves, you could check, oh, is my player, does that member has some kind that I'm interested in? I'm going to respawn it on another machine. You know what I mean? So there is a lot of events you can hook into to make your system 100% full, 100% resilient against crashes and problems and all that stuff, right? Yeah, something like that. Are there any questions you want to ask me? Some junk you want to ask me? Some rant I need to give you? Somebody I need to roast? So that's basically it. I'm gonna make this example here a little bit better of stream. I'm gonna think a bit about the API. Maybe I'm gonna change some stuff. I'm not quite sure. But it's already available, right? If you could do me an enormous favor if you just go to Hollywood and you just at least give it a simple star if you want. That would be nice. Let me refresh. Okay, 3 people did it. Thank you very much. We had 50 viewers, so hey, we can have 50 more. You know what I mean? You can check out the repo. There's a lot of examples here. A shit ton. TCP server and restart, how that works, persistence, middleware, metrics, yada 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 yada. Right? A lot of examples how that works. That would be cool. Yeah. So let's relax a little bit. Let's talk some trash. What's going on? Priyank Patel, your videos have been immensely helpful to me as I work towards mastering Go. Hey, the pleasure is mine, man. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, my friend. Xfresh. I'm currently using Agonis. It's a cloud-based system to create game service that is using Kubernetes. If I had to do this with Kubernetes myself, I would die. Exactly. Exactly. Agonis, I didn't know. That's actually interesting because when I come with my other stuff, Agonis. I swear, if you use Hollywood, it's 10 times faster, easier. You could hook your middleware up to something like Jaeger or Prometheus or something and have all metrics and all that stuff. Or you need to wait until I am done with my with Hailstorm, man. The Wasm container scheduler. Well, the Hailstorm, deploy anything, anywhere. That's what it's gonna be. Just 40 nanoseconds deploys of your Wasm blobs. Isn't that cool? Also, let me give you a little let me give you a little for the people that are still here. 54 people. I'm gonna show you something here. Look what I did, right? So let me go to, look at that, guys. What I'm gonna do. Look at this. Let me code this up real quick for you guys. Look at that. So I have an application compiled to Wasm, which is basically an hello world web server in Golang. Can I actually run this? And Hailstorm is going to be open source, but I just wrote it today, like 1 hour. I made this in 1 hour, and of course you can see, hey, it's using Hollywood. Of course it's using Hollywood because we're going to distribute these Wasm blobs. Each blob of Wasm is going to be an actor. It's going to have multiple actors, right? And it's going to, yeah, you're going to see. I'm going to open source it very soon. Yeah, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to open up something else real quick. Wazi. Let me code. Let me see that it's no naked picture or something. Okay, so I have this. Look at this, guys. This is compiled. It's a simple listener I made. A simple listener. It's compiled to Wasm. And I can actually... Look at that. Look at this. I made this morning, right? So it could be working, right? This is Hailstorm. Hailstorm. Right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to make send, which is what it's going to do is it's going to take this Wasm blob. Actually, make send. I'm going to do it here. It's going to take this Wasm blob binary code and it's going to send that to my local host Chi router. I'm going to make send here, right? So you can see there's an actor started. The runtime has started here. There's a runtime started. What is that? It's the runtime of your Wasm program. Basically your Go program. So I can go to... So fucking funny, not gonna lie. 5, this is the thing. You see hello world. Look at that! Kubernetes! Docker, why? Is it easy? Did you saw how fast it spawned? Okay, you have some superfluous response right headers. I know, I'm fixing these things, guys. Give me a break. But, I mean, I just spawned a Wasm program at this port saying hello world. In nanoseconds. With Hailstorm. But of course, I need to make it better. So that was my proof of concept. So it's working. So it's running in an actor, right? And then we can talk to that actor. What it's going to do, it's going to give you logs of your application. It's going to give you tracing, error handling. It's going to give you a UI where you can start, stop, and redistribute your program or whatever you want. You're going to have multiple services that can communicate with each other over the Hollywood cluster. Open source. In any language, right? You could make something in Go. You could make something in Python. You could make something in OCaml. You could make something in Rust. You just compile it to Wasm. Boom! And you basically launch it with Hailstorm. Isn't that amazing? That's what we're gonna build secretly. And I'm gonna open source it alongside with a very smart guy. Per. Yeah. RIP cloud providers. But that's the thing. So it's easy, right? So I can do something like Wait. Oh, that's a superfluous. Look at that. Why is it superfluous, guys? It's simple, because you write your header after your response. You fucking dork. You need to place it in here. Right, so you're gonna write status okay. We're gonna do something like, hello, MFer. No. Hello, Mr. GG. Right, so I'm gonna compile it. Is it in my make file here? Yeah, it's in my make file. So I'm gonna make build. Is it gonna overwrite this? It probably is, right? That's the only thing. It's not compiling with TinyGo. It's compiling with just Golang. You know what I mean? It's just Go. It's the WASI. So the architecture is WASM, and the Goose. What stands that for? I don't know. It's the Goose. Isn't that the Top Gun pilot? So WASI API is WASI. WASI P1, which is basically the snapshot 1 of WASI. We're gonna cover that. So we just built this to app WASM, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna basically because there's no way to stop my actor, right? With Hailstorm, because I made this literally in 1 hour today. So I'm gonna run it again, right? So you see 555. You see it's not working, right? Boom. Problematic problems, right? What we're gonna do is we're gonna make send here, right? Boom, send this. And now we press enter. Look at that! Look at that, guys! Try this with Docker. Try this with Kubernetes. You can't. How amazing is that? This is crazy. Could you imagine that Hailstorm is running on the cloud, and you just send that to the cloud, and it's there. Your app is online in a blink of an eye. That basically means your rolling deploys are getting instant. You know what I mean? So if you have 2 services and you need to basically do a rolling deploy, it takes long. But now it's like, boom, bada, boom. It's there. You just basically swappy wappy. You know what I mean? This is amazing. I didn't know it. I knew it was fast, but this is crazy. You know what I mean? It's like, the question about this, can we, how much can we compile into this thing? Can we do something like, let's make a new folder here. Let's call this a view. Let's try temple or something. Maybe that's gonna, let me make a new file. Let's call this, I don't know what we're gonna call this, baby. Home.go. No, it's not home.temple. I'm gonna call this package home. Is it true? Package view, actually. And then we're gonna say, I don't know, temple index h1 hailstorm is going to kill q8s docker and q8s. That's pretty funny, guys, because I made a tweet, a simple tweet like, WASM is going to, is the future, it's going, and it's something like that on Twitter, and it was my best tweet ever. It had 200k impressions. I don't know, people are getting triggered. It's crazy. It's insane. This is this thing. Can I compile that? Processing pod. Huh? How does it work? Oh my god. Hey! Oh. Who is this? Steady, thanks, man. Yeah. Okay, we have this Go thing. Can I actually... Man, where's my main? How do we do this without a framework? I don't know. It's gonna be view. Next, I have no clue because I'm actually working. Render. W. Wait, is this gonna... Is this writing a byte? I don't know what it's doing. Let's compile this. Can we compile that? Yeah! This is what I call hacking. This is what I call exploration. You know, Anthony, how do you know all these things? Because this is what I do all day. You know, if I'm bored, I'm just doing garbage. You know, I'm doing weird stuff. You know what I mean? Okay, this is built. We need to reboot Hailstorm, guys. Where is Hailstorm? Where is Hailstorm? Hailstorm, where are you, my friend? Here. Make run again. Whoops, 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 whoops. Here we do make send. Boom. And now we're gonna see what is going on here. Easy, guys. Making apps with Go and schedule them in the cloud with Hailstorm WASI. WASM, WebAssembly interface with Temple and all that stuff. It's easy. 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 The way seniors learned before, yeah, that's true, Mario. That's true, that's true, that's true. But that's how we did it, right? We just did garbage. That's actually, to be honest, if I do something new, this is what my code looks like all the fucking time. That's why people basically sometimes say, yeah, but your code is not idiomatic. Yeah, I mean, I know. But it's not, it's not structured. It doesn't look good. Yeah, but I mean, listen, guys. In life, your wife doesn't need to look good. She needs to be a completion of you. It needs to work, right? Same with code. It does not need to look good. It needs to work. You know what I mean? We don't see the kill word. What's that? We don't see the kill word. Yeah, I know. That's because my... Oh, you do. Oh yeah, now it's like that. I don't know how what the impact is of a WASM. Like, I think it's gonna be 5% off native speed, something like that. But the problem is that that's not a big of a deal, because you need to understand, Docker is also an overhead. The same thing, right? It's not gonna run like. It's also gonna be an overhead a little bit. But it doesn't matter, because 10 years ago our processing power is so big that it doesn't really matter. Performance, in my opinion, doesn't really matter anymore. It matters, but I mean, we are fast enough. He called his wife ugly. It's a confessional. My wife is beautiful. She's very, very beautiful. Because she also goes to the gym and all that stuff. You know what I mean? She's muy bien. But it's just a bad analogy, man. Oh yeah. So you can see what it's gonna do. I need to get rid of these info logs and Hollywoods, and then. So the goal is that each time you're gonna send your WASM blob, you're gonna have versions of each deploy, and that's the cool stuff. So so each time you're gonna deploy, you're gonna publish your application, we're gonna save the binary WASM. So I'm gonna make like a command line tool of that, or through a UI. You're gonna do something like Hailstorm, like HS publish or something, path to your app.wasm, for example, right? And it's going to respond to you, right? If you do this, it's not gonna work because command not found. It's going to respond you an ID, something like that. You know what I mean? And you can each time you do that, you're gonna get these sub IDs, And then you can basically roll back your app whenever you want, instantly, because like I said, 40 nanoseconds deploy times. You know what I mean? It's like boop, boop, boop. You can go back, roll back in time, go forward and all that stuff. It's crazy, you know what I mean? Mario, I will take my time during Christmas and New Year to dig into the server-side WASM API. Yeah, so there are some caveats here, right? Because I needed to dig in very deep and I need to do a lot of research to make it work, because you need a good host. And I'm also tempting to write my own VM, because there are a lot of VMs in Rust and you have VMs in C++ and in Go, but some do not already accept some APIs. For example, sock open and all that stuff. It's very important for web service. Sock open. It's not an official release of the WASI 1 snapshot 1 standard. So most of these hosts have that not implemented yet. But of course, it's very important, and I really hate it that people need to spend 2 years on fucking GitHub issues. Because that's what it is, right? Open source sucks. Why? Because a bunch of soy devs are sitting together and they cannot make progress because needs to be some consensus, you know what I mean? It's like, and it takes so long. Oh, because I need to yada, 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 yada. Yada, yada. Yes, but what if we... That is very true, Richard. Maybe we should take the API in consideration. And that keeps on going all the fucking time. Yeah, but we are working here at our free time. That's why it's slow. So that's why I basically implement these things myself. On top of WAS0 and yada yada yada. I hack some things together and now it works for me. You know what I mean? So everybody can write web apps that compile to WASM. Kinda. Let's make WASM v2. Yeah, they need to basically... But the crazy stuff actually, what basically blew my mind, because you could say, yeah, but WASI is not a thing. Not a thing. Look at this. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Go compiles to the WASI snapshot 1. Can you imagine that? That a language already compiles to the WASI snapshot 1. If languages, and it's Rust, it's .NET, Python, yeah, they all compile to the snapshot 1 already. That's a big deal. Because if it was not a big deal, languages wouldn't do that, right? So startups basically in this scene need to be active right now. Because when the shit hits the fan and there is a WASI snapshot 2 where every language compiles to and you can actually do the whole shebang, that's GG well played, right? Because everybody's going to make a shit. You know what I mean? If every language can compile to a WASI snapshot 2 with everything like files, systems, which already is possible, but like network, all that stuff, man, why would you even run on Docker still if you have a complete isolation? A complete secure, isolated application, 100% secure, that you can spin up in nanoseconds. Man, then I know what to choose, to be honest. Not gonna lie. It works, and it works everywhere, right? IoT. It's basically it's the future, guys. I swear to God, it's probably gonna be the future very soon. So yeah, I'm reading tweets. A good engineer is always employed. Every week I receive emails with some offers. My CV is in the database of high-paying recruiters. Yeah, that's how it goes, you know what I mean? If you open up my fucking LinkedIn, it's crazy. It's actually crazy. If you Wasm GG, but making like also Wasm is portable and works everywhere. Not like Docker, it's slower on our machines. Yeah, guys, like I said, I'm gonna say it again. Wasm is going to be the future, not only for web. No, actually, it's going to be the future for server-side apps. Not, it's getting used already, like Figma and all that stuff. They already use WebAssembly in the browser, but in my opinion, Wasm is a server-side stuff. It's going to be a server-side thing, trust me. Because try to spawn a Lambda function or something on AWS, it's how long does it take? It's insane. Imagine you can just use WebAssembly functions on the edge, right? Which you can do with Hailstorm soon, right? You can make a simple function and you can call that function in nanoseconds, right? You know what I mean? No startup time needed. It's easy. It's instant, by the way, almost. As soon as you can call network stuff in the browser, it can be a game changer, but you can already do that, right? It's the browser that basically the host, right? Which is the browser is the host. So basically in Wasm or VMs, or basically what they talk in Wasm parlance, yeah, delete everything. You're gonna have basically the host, right? Which is the VM, and then you're gonna have the client, which is a compiled Wasm app, right? The guest. It's not the client, the guest. I'm so sorry, guys. App Wasm is the guest, right? So this thing is get run on the host, right? But it's the... So WebAssembly itself cannot do networking. It does not know what it is. It's just a simple VM. It cannot read files. It cannot read nothing, right? So it's the host needs to implement a layer on top of that, right? And then it can run normal WAS, normal computations, but you can call host functions, right? And they're gonna call that to the host, and then the host is basically going to do network calls or gonna read files or something, you know what I mean? The browser is also a host, but if the browser does not allow you to do that, then it's not gonna happen, you know what I mean? Because there's also no spec about it. And that's why they have the WASI spec. The WASI spec need to read that, but that's basically for systems, right? And for the browser, it's going to be something else. You know what I mean? But it's still the speed of GS. Well, that's not true, right? Because did I actually board my thing? Yeah, I did that. That's not true, because if you compile in the browser, that's not true. Well, the browser runs on your machine. It's written in whatever fucking language. It can run whatever they want, right? If they want, they can just run a compiled WASM blob at C speed. You know what I mean? Why? Because JavaScript runs on your on the V8 engine, for example. So why can't they implement a runtime, a WASM runtime on that thing that basically calls functions from there? So you don't run at JavaScript speed, you run at native speed. And I think they already run at native speed. I cannot imagine that they run at JavaScript speed. Why would they do that? I think WebAssembly, if you compile your JavaScript to WebAssembly, you don't run at JavaScript speed. You run at the speed that WebAssembly is getting executed, right? Of course, if your VM is written in JavaScript, you're gonna execute at the S speed. But if your VM is written in C++, which is where browsers are being written in most of the time, or Rust, Mozilla, for example, you're gonna run your WebAssembly at that speed, you know what I mean? Which is blazingly fast, right? like I said, I didn't know it was such a thing until I did some research about it, and trust me, it's very big. And there are already companies doing a lot of stuff with that, and it's just a matter of time, and then it's going to be mainstream, trust me, very soon. So it's time to jump on the bandwagon before it's getting meta, you know what I mean? That's what you need to do. Be early, not be too late. Because once it's a hype, it's already too late, you know? The money has already been distributed. Was he bringing more safety in browser but more complexity? I don't think so. Because by the end of the day, WASM is just like a compiled program, right? Because the complexity of WASM is up to the browser itself, right? Of course, right now, calling WASM from JavaScript is kind of weird, right? Let us be honest. But that's now, right? Maybe you never write in JavaScript soon. I don't know. Maybe just there's going to be a time that you just send a WASM blob from your server. Which is actually inefficient. Because a WASM blob can be very large. You know what I mean, right? You never know what's going to happen, right? You never know. It's to be honest, it's already, in my opinion, very mature. It's just, yeah, but you see what I did, right? I just compiled a simple, I mean, guys, I just made this thing, like, what the hell? What the fuck? You know what I mean? H1. Right, I'm gonna compile this, make builds. I need to make sure that my my hailstorm is running here. Make run. Boom. So I built this. I built my app here. It's easy, right? It's make build. It's fast, right? Of course, it's a small app. I know. Boom. And then I can actually just send this to hailstorm. Boom. And then I can here refresh this and oh shit, didn't I compile that? Wait. Oh yeah, I need to temple generate. I'm the biggest idiot in the whole world actually. Wait, where is this? So many things. I need to do temple generate here. Temple generate. Boom. Make build. Boom. Make send. Boom. 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 Press enter. What the fuck? You know what I mean? WASM is not mature. I mean, if this is not mature, this is more mature. I've never seen this. That's even more mature. What I just did is compile to WASM, send it to my application, and my application puts it online. In, I don't know, 4 seconds? That's not even how you can boot up your next server in JavaScript, right? That's not even as fast as doing npm install. You know what I mean? What the hell? This is crazy. Yeah, so the thing is, the only thing that's a little bit lacking is the spec. That's what's lacking, right? So, like I said, you have the host. What the hell is this, guys? You have the host and you have the guest, right? Everything is kind of mature because all languages compile to WASM perfectly, almost perfectly. It's the host that needs to have a spec, so the client knows what he needs to call. So the languages know how they need to compile, right? You know what I mean? Once that spec is completely done, then it's going to be bananas. So yeah, is it mature? Yes. Why? Because I can make an SDK that does everything for me. I can write it in any language, compile that to WebAssembly, and because I'm using my own wrapped SDK, which wraps host functions, it's very complex, it's always gonna run on hosts that implement the spec that I created. If you understand what I mean. Lars, when I tested this for evaluating policies for policy access engine, it was lacking a little bit. Let me know, because I cannot believe that anymore, and that it's lacking. The only thing, no, it cannot be lacking. I'm making HTTP service right now. You know what I mean? Compile with temple and all that stuff. I can probably make a to-do list. I can probably write stuff in my database. I can do everything. I can basically write everything. I can basically compile Avenue to that and run it in a WASM container, in a WASM blob. Easily. Eight months ago, yeah. So yeah. Like I said, take a look at Hollywood. Also, I'm gonna keep an eye for Hailstorm, the open source WASM scheduler. This WASM distribute thingy, which I'm gonna open source very soon. I'm doing a lot of research. You can see, like I said, this thingy, I made this in the morning, right? It's like, it's hacky. Look what I do. It's hacky stuff what I do, right? But hey, first you make it work, then you make it better, and then you make it fast. You know what I mean? That's the order. You know, and it does not matter what idioms people on Reddit come up with, right? They can shove their idioms in their fucking ass. You first make it work. How dirty it can be doesn't really matter. Because good sex is dirty sex. Let's be honest. You know what I mean? Clean sex sucks. That's the same thing. Clean code sucks. Dirty code is good. But after you clean it up, and then you make it faster. You know what I mean? Okay, guys, thanks for the stream. I don't know what I'm gonna do. What I'm gonna do? Eat some more protein. I don't know, maybe paper notes, something like that. You know, these paper notes. It's amazing. Paper note, amazing. Look it up. And yeah, do some more stuff, guys. Thanks for watching. And jump into Discord community. Press the like button, subscribe to the channel, you know, all that stuff. And I'm looking